Overview. When young baseball nut Joe Stoshak finds the most valuable baseball card in the world, a Honus Wagner T206, in a pile of garbage, he thinks he's struck it rich. It turns out the card is worth more than money. It's his ticket to an amazing time travel adventure to a historic World Series game with one of the greatest baseball players who ever lived. One last peek. I was dying to tell Mom about the card, but I wasn't sure how to handle it. Mom's a bit of a goody two shoes about doing the right thing all the time. She might do something crazy like force me to give the card back to Miss Young. I almost busted a gut trying to hold back the news during dinner. Is something bothering you, Joe? Mom asked as we scraped our plates off into the garbage. I'm just excited about my ball game tomorrow, Mom, I lied. Who are you playing? The Galante Giants. Those lunatics? Yeah. I did my homework and watched some TV after dinner before crawling into bed. Just before clicking off the light, I opened my backpack and took out the Wagner card. I wanted to look at it one more time before I went to sleep. The tingling sensation started as I held the card in my hand. It was a pleasant, buzzy feeling, like a cat purring in my ear. My eyes felt droopy. I was thinking about Honus Wagner and what a great player he was. I was wondering if he was that good when he was a kid, and if the other kids made fun of him because he looked funny. I wished I could meet him. That was the last thing I remember before dropping off to sleep. Sometime during the night, there was a stirring in my room. I thought for a moment it was the house creaking, but the sound was loud enough to make me sit up in bed out of a deep sleep. I jumped. Air escaped from my mouth in a startled gasp. I brought my hand to my mouth to cover it. My eyes were wide and they strained to adjust to the light from my night table. There was a man in my room. He was sitting in the chair at my desk, calmly watching me. He didn't look like he was a thief robbing the house. He was wearing a baseball uniform. Who are you? I asked, dumbfounded. Who are you? He replied softly. Joe. Joe Stoshak. My friends call me Stosh. Then that's what I'll call you. Pleased to meet you, Stosh. He stood up and stuck out his right hand to shake. The hand was enormous, about the size of a canned ham. It enveloped mine completely, but gently. I looked the guy over. He was a big man. Not tall, but solid, about 200 pounds. He must have been in his mid-30s, sort of weird-looking, with big ears and a big nose. There were bags under his brown eyes, and a tinge of sadness in his face. He somehow reminded me of Abraham Lincoln. As he sat back down in the chair, I could see his legs were bowed like mine. But even worse, his chest seemed to be as big as a barrel. There was plenty of room on it for the letters Pittsburgh. There was no H at the end. Honus Wagner? I whispered, rhyming Honus with bonus. Honus, he said, rhyming it with honest. Hannes. My friends call me Hans. It's from the German name Johannes. Am I dreaming? I asked. I don't know, he said. Maybe I am. Sure doesn't feel like a dream, though, does it? No, I just went to sleep, and when I woke up, you were sitting here in my room. And I was at the ballpark shagging flies, and the next thing I knew, I was here. Wait a minute. Shaking the sleep from my eyes, it occurred to me that this had to be some kind of trick. I'm no fool, and I know not to talk to strangers. I glanced around the room, trying to locate my baseball bat. Maybe I could defend myself with it if I had to. Who are you, anyway? I demanded. I already told you, Stosh, he replied gently. Hans Wagner. If you're really Wagner, let's see you prove it, I said. Show me some identification. Stosh, I don't carry my wallet in my uniform, the guy said calmly. I have no way to prove to you who I am. Well, I do. I pulled my copy of the baseball encyclopedia out of the bookshelf and furiously flipped the pages until I reached the entry for Hannes Wagner. Okay, Honus, or whatever your name is, what was your batting average in 1900? That was my best year, he answered proudly. I hit .381. He was right. Yeah, well, what's your birthday? I asked. February 24th, he replied, 1874. Anybody posing as Wagner would know that. I looked down the column for a more obscure statistic. How many errors did you make in 1909? That's easy, he said, 49, but at least 10 of them should have been scored as hits, if you ask me. I couldn't have reached them without a butterfly net. I still wasn't convinced the guy was Honus Wagner. How many home runs did you hit in your career? I asked. He thought about that for a moment. I can't answer that one, Stosh. If you're really Honus Wagner, why don't you know how many home runs you hit? Well, he said, shaking his head, I haven't hit them all yet. I hope I haven't anyway. I was counting on playing for a few more seasons before this old body is too beat up to hit homers. What year do you think this is? I asked him. Why, it's 1909, of course, he responded. What year do you think it is? I went over to my desk, picked up my calendar, and handed it to him. Jumpin' Jehoshaphat. He was genuinely shocked. Are you saying you traveled through time from 1909 to now? I didn't say nothing, Stosh, but it sure looks like it. Look it. I thought time travel was just something on TV. TV? He said, puzzled. What's TV? Never mind. Why are you here? I asked. I don't know, Stosh. All I know is something very powerful brought me to you. You and me gotta figure out what it is, and we gotta figure it out by tomorrow, 'cause I got a big game on Saturday, and I don't want to miss it. I gotta get back to 1909.